especially our parents. So that's the gist and the purpose and the object of this meeting. And on Friday, as you know, we will have, apparently there's a lot of confusion around that. On Friday, 8 o'clock, we will have our annual well done function, which will be at 8 o'clock at the big hall. We will not have this kind of session on Friday as we normally used to. So that I think that should be clear. In terms of the crowd, the rule of the house, we are humbly requesting that when the proceedings start, we remain seated. We don't have movement around because that will also disturb the proceeding. And our phone should be silenced. And we'll humbly request that that door should always be closed. We also want to indicate that we will not have a lot of questions. We'll only have 2 sessions. And we are requesting that each media house, if we can be straight to the point, direct to question around the issues of results. We don't want to get question which is outside what we have called you for. We'll also have colleagues from the Zoom platform who will also be entering the media briefing to ask questions. We'll take firstly 5 questions per round, and then another 5 per round, and that will then conclude this media briefing. Then if there's any one-to-one question that they want to engage, then we'll do that outside the media briefing. Colleagues, in terms of our program, as you have noticed, I'm sharing the meeting. Then we'll have the media, the welcome address, which I've already done. It was supposed to be done by the HOD, but the HOD will present the result, the 2024 National Senior Certificate. This was supposed to be presented by the MEC, but as I've indicated, the MEC is not feeling well, and then the HOD will present those results. Then after the HOD has presented the results, before we take questions, we'll allow the Premier to have a remark, and then after that, we'll then have question and answers. As I indicated, we are pleading with you just to go straight to the point so that we don't prolong this session. Then the MEC will do, while seated, to the closing remarks, and then after that we'll adjourn this press briefing. I want also to take this opportunity to acknowledge our director for exam, Tate Kenny Bastian, who's here. He will be here as a resource person to support the MEC, to support the HOD on any other technical question that may arise. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the HOD so that he can present the 2024 National Senior Certificate results to the public via the media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ntate Ndaba. Premier Ntate Ndaba has instructed me to cut it to the chase because he has already established protocol. With due respect, I could go straight and really start with the presentation. It's quite a number of slides, but I'll do justice to them, but be fast enough. Having said that, this is the results, the release of the 2024 NSC results media briefing. Mr. Ndaba has actually discussed the reasons why we are doing this technical release of results today instead of the traditional, in fact, the traditional Tuesday, which should have been the day on which it would be our well done function. Thank you. And this is the introduction of the 2024 top achievers. I will actually then, give you the reasons why we do the work that we do. Our work is firmly predicated on the National Development Plan, through which by 2030, South Africans should have access to education and training of the highest quality, leading to significantly improved learning outcomes. The performance of South African learners in international standardized tests should be comparable to the performance of learners from countries at a similar level of development and with similar levels of access. When you look at the depiction of the class of 2024, there are a myriad of challenges that faced this cohort. We have been driven by the National Curriculum Recovery Plan, which played a significant role in supporting these learners. Giving you these learners in context, they entered grade 1 in 2013, and many benefited from various progression policies within our educational ecosystem. They entered grade 8 at a critical phase in 2020 at the height of COVID-19. They were affected when they transitioned to the next phase, from primary phase to secondary phase. And in grade 9, which was in 2021, which was a very crucial year for subject selection for entry into grade 10, which would have been in 2022, they were also facing disruption. That transition was never easy. They transitioned to the FET phase in grade 10, which was in 2022. And they experienced a lot of what we call curriculum trimming, meaning which their curriculum had to be trimmed because they could not have had enough time to cover the full curriculum. Clearly, they would have transitioned to the next grade with some curriculum gaps. When you look at them, only full schooling resumed in grade 10. That was in 2022. We have to introduce the first semblance of an exam, which was in June. Before that, they just wrote, normal common assessments, but not full-blown semblance of a test. That only happened in June. So, and we also started then to resume with our school-based assessments modalities like practical assessment tests and orals. So that's when some semblance of normality kicked in. So these learners, they actually, covered themselves in glory. If you listen to what the minister announced yesterday, these are the beautiful ones. I will then give you our cohort, these learners of 2024, so that you know who they are. Here, I'll only focus on the Free State within the national context, but I'll just zoom into the Free State. But it helps with a little bit of context that you can peep into what other provinces were doing. You will see that this cohort was 1,861 more than the cohort of 2023. So we had higher enrollment in 2024. That's what makes this thing even more sweeter. You will see that there are provinces that actually registered a decline, whilst we registered an increase. And now you'll also see that we have part-time candidates who wrote, because we need to give learners a second chance to ensure that they can actually have a fair chance in improving their lot if they did not succeed. We had 8,191 part-time learners, which was slightly lower than 2023, which was 8,542. But what is more significant with this cohort is that more of these learners sat and wrote the exam as opposed to those learners in 2023. Now, I don't know how to depict this, but you will see the picture in terms of delineation of gender. You will see that more girl learners are anchoring our results. You would see that the picture is a national picture. Look at 2024. You will see that the Free State registered 54.7% female learners as opposed to 45.3% male learners. And the picture is the same with all other provinces. Premier, this is painting a very beautiful picture if you understand the core values of how we build a society. We also need to look at principles of social justice, which underpin our service delivery in the department. They are particularly its access, its redress, its equity, efficiency, quality, and inclusivity. Because I'm going to talk about inclusive education, I would focus on the two, regardless of your personal circumstances. The business of the department is to protect every learner, irrespective of their personal circumstances. So these are learners who had barriers to learning. Yes, these are learners who had barriers to learning. You would see that in 2024, the learners that wrote are 2,113, as opposed to 1,677 in 2023. The enrollment given was higher this year than it was last year. We ensured that we protected each and every learner who actually had barriers to learning. We'll show you how. You would see that in terms of what we call concessions and accommodations, based on barriers to learning that a number of learners were facing, we applied for what we call concessions and accommodations. A total of 2,417 concessions were given. These are learners who would either be blind, who would either have panic or anxiety attacks. It could be learners who are deaf. It could be learners who've got chronic diseases that hamper their normal performance. They can't actually be painted with the same brush as the other learners because they are not similarly circumstanced. So those learners, we profiled them very well. You see we're the best in the country. It shows that we worked with these learners. Profiling does not start in grade 12. These are the learners who entered our system early. We came tracking them down. We've got proper records of them. It was so easy for the concessions to be given. And big ups to my colleagues at Inclusive Education and Exams. They did a sterling work. Now, I'm going to the Free State NSC 2024 outcomes. These are the 10 top learners, and amongst them, we've got actually best learners on merit. I will just run through them because some of these learners are here, MEC. It's such a beautiful thing to look at something being cooked, and at the tail end, it just works like a bomb. The number one learner, it will be Voortrekker from Voortrekker Senior Secondary, Susan Bender. She's in our midst. The next learner is Christian Daniel Huesen from Grey College. Is Susan here? So this is Christian Daniel Huesen. And the next learner is from Welkom Gymnasium, Talita van Settert. And the best learner on merit is the ghetto slicker, Lehlonololo Mogotu from JC Mutumi Senior Secondary. The next learner, premier, a disclaimer, and it's just an accident of birth, is in Tabeleng Malakwane from Ranzane in Putadichado. The next premier, I'm sorry, Isaac Petrus is actually learner number 3, Duplessis from Grey College is number 4. Then our next best learner on merit, offering African language, is Lehlonololo Mogotu from JC Mutumi Senior Secondary. Yes. Then I come to that controversial topic, Premier. I wanted to frog jump this reality. This Ntabele Malakwane from Ranzani in Kwakwa, and I know she's not here, Premier. And the next learner is Puseletso Elizabeth Tosang from Tsibo Secondary School. And the next learner is Precious Mpuluken Tsolo from the Beacon Senior Secondary School. They call it the only school that matters. They are not here because of they come from Thabo Mofusanyana, which is quite far, and they will still be here again on Friday, Premier. And then we've got the Letlotlo, Ntwahai, Ventersburg. Thank you very much. Then we've got Lerato Beyonce, Khutlane, Ntemuseng. So if you could run the slides for me, please. The next slide. Thank you. These are the top performer from Thabo Mofutshanyane for Trekker Senior Secondary is Susan Bender, as I've ever seen. She's a top 10 candidate and a candidate who is in the top 10 because of the following subjects. It's accounting, math, physics, and Afrikaans home language. You will see she has taken 7 languages, 7 subjects, and she has achieved, we normally have level 7 and nothing more. But to give you the quality within the quality, we have delineated certain achievements to level 8 for you to understand the real depth of the achievement. This learner received 90 plus in all the 7 subjects that she has. And then Leshono Mukhotu, top 10 candidate, and he's top 10 in maths and physics. So he took 7 subjects. He got high achievement in 4 subjects and normal level 7s in 3 subjects. A great achievement indeed. Daniel Christian Huesen, top 10 candidate and top 10 in accounting and mathematics. You will see that he's got higher level 7s in 8 subjects. He took 9 subjects. So, and he only has got a normal level 7 in 1 subject, which is English first additional language. A great achievement indeed. Ntabele Malakwane received 6 top tier level 7s and 4, 2, 4, 5 top tier level 7s and yes, 6 and then 4 normal level 7s. This learner took 10 subjects in grade 12. And then we've got Petrus Isaac Duplessis, our top 10 candidate, top 10 in accounting. You'll see the quality is in 6 subjects because we took 8, and the other 2 subjects, which are mostly languages, are on level 7. Round of applause, please. Then we've got Beyonce Lerato Khutlane. She's a top candidate. She's got 3 top tier level 7s and 4 normal level 7s. A round of applause for her. Then we've got Talita van Settert, top 10 candidate, top 10 in accounting and physical sciences. You will see that she's got in a top tier level 7s in 6 of her 7 languages and a normal level 7 in 1 language, which is English first additional language. A round of applause for her, please. And from Ventersberg, Lutlotlo Ntwahai, a top 10 candidate, top achievement in physical sciences. In 4 of his subjects, he's got top tier level 7s, 2 level 7s, and 1 level 6 in Sesotho home language. A round of applause for him, please. From the Beacon, the only school that matters, is Precious Mpoluke Ntsolo. She's a top 10 candidate and top 10 in Sesotho home language. She's got top tier achievements in 4 subjects and normal level 7s in 3. A round of applause for her, please. We then have Elizabeth Puseletso Tsosang, top 10 candidate. She's got 5 top tier level 7s and 2 normal level 7s in languages. A round of applause for her, please. We move from a premise that learners must never be walked into the classroom un or ill prepared. Our business in the Free State is that we work with learners and walk them with assurance in the classroom. Now, in grade 8 and 9, this cohort received provincially developed readers in all home languages and English first additional language, as well as content and activity books in natural sciences and mathematics. This is one of our strategies as we hone them for the big fight. In grade 10 to grade 10 to grade 12, the cohort was provided with study guides across the grades in selected subjects, in addition to textbooks, targeting the following key subjects: mathematics, science, agricultural subjects, home languages, accounting, business studies, mathematical literacy, economics, agricultural subjects, tourism, technical science, and technical mathematics. So we continue to conduct 30-day extra academic support programs during the school recess. Over and above the extra academic support programs, 15 days specialized camps for learners offering science, commerce, and technical stream were conducted. I must tell you, Honorable MEC, that there are learners who actually even started going to school in some districts first week of January. We mean business because we believe in these learners. So this cohort benefited immensely from our provincial literacy and numeracy strategies from grades 4 to 9 and partnership programs conducted from grade 10 to 12 jointly with ETDP SITA, KST, Kutlwanong, ESCOM Foundation, and Sasol Foundation. We conducted marking guidelines, discussions of provincial standardized tests and examinations across the grades and subjects, supporting quality marking and consequently developing teachers' conceptual understanding and assessment practices. We conducted 3 days residential professional development workshops targeting the teachers from struggling schools, focusing on challenging topics in business studies, economics, accounting, and mathematics. We also conducted 10 days visual learning support programs for grade 12 learners in all commercial subjects: humanities, sciences, mathematics, agricultural science, computer applications technology, IT, 9 specializations, EGD, life orientation, English first additional language, and in all home languages. That will be Sesotho, Setswana, isiXhosa, isiZulu, English, and Afrikaans to support struggling learners and potential level 7s, which are our high flyers. We had quarterly ATP mediations, including mediation of diagnostic report and internal moderators report. And we also conducted accountability sessions led by MEC, which are supported by HOD roadshows. We conducted quarterly sessions with the PSGB Council and curriculum forum with unions. It has been a multi-stakeholder affair. Premier, I had to couch this report in this way. I'm quite mindful that if we go out and really become surgical with our strategies, the nation places too high a premium on who's number one. We may well be sharpening excess of those who come behind us. Having said that, Premier, I'm proud to announce that the class of 2024, they covered themselves in glory and received a whopping 91.0% pass rate. But I also need to mention that this very cohort also achieved a groundbreaking 48.2% bachelor pass rate. Premier, I won't mention other provinces because that's not our orientation and strategy. The achievement of the 48.2% bachelor and the 30% diploma passes demonstrate results of high quality from candidates and the degree to which high grade passes have been increasing since 2020. 4 of our districts have secured top 10 position nationally out of 77 districts. Their outstanding achievements are as follows. Number 1 district in the province is Fezile Dabi district, followed by Moteo, Harib, and Thabo Mofutsanyane. Now I'll talk about this district in context. I see Dr. Chuta is not here. Fezile Dabi attained 93.5% pass rate with 48.8% bachelors. Lejwe Leputswa achieved 87.5% with 41% bachelors. I can openly say they have now broken the 85% curse. And then Moteo, they achieved 92.2% pass rate and 50.1% bachelors. Thabo Mofutsanyane attained 90.6% and 51.4% bachelors. I can see very well. Harip received 92.2%. Harip, yeah, not 93.4. Yeah, 92.2%. Let me see. My gray matter is not about to degenerate. I can see that from far. And Motel received 92.2%, the same. Yes, let me see. And now I want to give you a trajectory of how we have moved as a department, because we don't want to create a picture that we are one hit wonders in 2024. When you look at the blue icon on top, just focus on 2024. That represents the percentage of schools that met our target, which is our strategy. We are not really concerned about who's number one, number two, number three. We have set ourselves targets to say we want 90% pass rate and 40% bachelors. So a whopping 54.4% of our schools achieved the 90-40 target, which is a great achievement. It has never been achieved since the advent of the National Senior Certificate. When you look at the yellow icon, it's almost like a Gantt chart. If you look at my screen, you will see that represents bachelors. You've got 30% bachelors. We have, diploma. We have achieved this feat even better in previous years. But just for completeness, for this cohort of 2024, it is 30%. Now, the orange icon is 48.2%. Those are bachelors. Premier, this is a record of all time. It has never been achieved by us since the advent of the NSC. And again, another story to tell. Nobody in the history of the NSC has breached the 90% mark. We are at 91, and an emphatic feat by all means. And it deserves a round of applause. I don't want to take the value out of this submission. I won't compare it with 2023, 2022. I would march on from here so that you can see me. Next slide, please. Yes. This is Free State National Senior Certificate Grade 12 performance since 2020. I will just focus on the extreme left of the table that I've provided there for now. You'll see in 2020 we're 85.2% with 40.5 bachelors. 2021 we're 85.6 with 39.9% bachelors. 2022 we're 88.6% with 43.2% bachelors. 2023, 89%. Actually, premiers is 89.03% with 44.7% bachelors. Now we are a staggering 91% with 48.2% bachelors. And I've also said those schools that met our target, they represent 45.4% of schools that entered. 54.4% of schools that entered the 2024 NSC. You will see that our diplomas were 30%, and the total enrollment was 37,561. Those who wrote were 36,312, and those who passed were 33,037. We have those who represent 9% of the deficit of our 100 will be 3,275. Those are those that failed. But now when we actually now want to look at the quality and try to give now names or numbers to percentages, you will see that in 2020, those who achieved bachelors were 11,462, while Then we started going up nicely. In 2021 to 13,971. In 2022, we moved to 15,831. 2023, 15,413. 2024, or hopping 17,486. And this is really a feat deserving. You'll also see how we have performed with diplomas. And we are going to give these learners, the 3,275 learners, an opportunity to go into our finishing schools so that they are not left behind. We'll keep on supporting them. You will see that we've got one of the best finishing schools. If you looked at the top 10 schools that I actually mentioned, 2 of our finishing schools are in the top 10. So wherever you are destined to pass if you are part of this team. And Premier, you will see that those that did not complete or whose results are incomplete, they are 1,249, which is about 1,183. But when you look at the enrollment for 2024, it's commensurate to the number of learners that enrolled. So it is quite negligible, but we are concerned about this phenomenon moving forward. We'll develop a proper strategy to ensure that all that register, they actually finish. Next slide, please. This is Free State NSC grade 12 performance since 2020. I think this is just to give you a 5-year average, colleagues and members of the media. We are saying in the past 5 years, we actually registered 176,861 learners in the past 5 years, cumulative to 2024. And we out of those 176,000, 170 of them and 705, they wrote. And 150,354, they passed. We're taking stock to the cumulative investment we have made in the past 5 years. And it represents that the result of that is 88.1%, the bachelors are 43.4%, diplomas 30.6%. So the quality that we have brought cumulative to 5 years is 74.1%. That deserves a round of applause. So we are showing there are many people who actually will come in and try to debase the quality of our achievements. This affects, and statistics don't lie. They actually negate common sense. Because I always say, if you speak without supporting premises or supporting data, you are using common sense, which is mainly uncommon. So we actually rely on statistics, we rely on unrebutted facts. And these are the facts as I'm putting them. Premier, out of 355 schools, 232 schools received 90 plus pass rate. And 67 schools received 100% pass rate. This is 20% more schools to those of 2023. In 2023, we have 47 schools that achieved 100%. In 2024, we've got 67. You can see we're just soaring for greater heights. I'm now about to introduce a very interesting topic, the topic of maths and science. These are the schools that are doing both maths and science. It's not just maths and anything else, maths and science. So the best maths and science school in the province of the Free State is Muokodi Secondary School in Thabo Mofutshane. They achieved 97% pass rate in both subjects. For a school to qualify as the best maths and science school, it must have a minimum of 80 candidates writing both subjects in an examination. It does not matter where you are. Your personal circumstances mean nothing. If you are within the borders of this province, you've got a fair chance to be the best version of yourself. This is the pecking order of schools that are the best in maths and science in this province. I see some of our top candidates are laughing. It is what it is. The first school is Mwoko, the senior secondary school. The second school is Selelekela, senior secondary school. The third school is Riverside Finishing School in Thabo Mofutshanyane. The next school is the Beacon, the only school that matters in Thabo Mofutshanyane. If I'm to pause here, school number 1, 2, 3, 4, they come from Thabo Mofutshanyane. School number 5 is Grey College from Motheo. School number 6 is Moroka Senior Secondary in Motheo. School number 7 is Matabo in Thabo Mofutshanyane. School number 8 is Blue Gum Bush in Thabo Mofutshanyane. School number 9 is Lepola in Lejweleputswa. And we've got Silukisa in Motheo, finishing school. I said the 3,275 learners who did not make it, they must not despair. Look at wonders that our teachers, gallant teachers, these are front soldiers, they are at the cold face of this business. They are able to produce heroes. If we are given a second chance, take it and grab it with both hands. The days don't come alike. Exam is magic. It's very magical. It has got a myriad of challenges. They are showing that given a second chance, you can make it. So can the 3,275 learners who did not make it. Now, people talk about the promoted and progress learners. Out of 36,312 candidates who wrote final examination, 12.2% were progress learners. Now, 64.6% of progress candidates passed the 2024 NSC exams. Excluding progress candidates, if we were to take them out, the overall pass percentage of promoted learners would have been 94.7%. Out of 4,421 progress candidates who wrote 2024 NSC exams, 327 achieved bachelor passes and 1,211 achieved diploma passes. It's not unheard of. It is not unheard of in this province that in certain schools, Honorable Premier, that progress learners pass better than promoted learners. The province, therefore, has fully supported the progress learners. This is what shows. And this outcome validates the effectiveness of our progression policy. Our lived experience is that that province that supports its progress learners well and pass them well is always number one. And we understand that narrative year in and year out. That's why they're so important to us. Here, I've given you a delineation of promoted as well as progress learners. You would see that if we were to focus only on promoted learners, the outcome would have been 94.7% pass rate, 53.8% bachelors, 30.3% diplomas, and a total quality passes of 84.2%. Now, our reality with progress learners is that 64.6% of them passed, 7.4% gave us bachelors, and 24.4% of them gave us diploma passes, and the total quality is 34.8%. Big ups to all these learners. They stuck on the path and they never gave up. It's a good story to tell. Now, many a times parents think that if your child attends an affluent school, your child is most likely to get quality education. We have negated that narrative a long time ago in this province. I will give you the outcomes of quintile 1, 2, 3 schools. You will see that quintile 1 schools, they gave us a total pass rate of 90.0%. Quintile 1. And bachelor pass of 45.9%. And a total quality of 75.7%. It's only in the Free State that will get this story. Quintile 2, you will see that they gave us 88.5% pass rate and 42.9% bachelor pass rate and 73.9% quality pass. We go to quintile 3, 91% pass rate, 45.9% bachelors, 31.54%, can I see well? 31.5% and 77.4% quality. Now, when you look at the cumulative input of quintile 1, 2, 3 schools, their pass rate, it is 90%, 45.1% bachelors, 30.8% diplomas, and 75.9% pass rate. It is not surprising, Premier, that we've got a lot of inward movement of learners from other provinces. Because the perception out there, which is proven, is that regardless of any school that you actually solicit in the Free State, you've got a high chance of passing because of our outcomes, proven year in and year out. And this is the gallon of our teachers. Yes, quintile 5 and quintile 4 schools are doing well. And this time, Premier, we're complaining about the output of independent schools. Because of the resources that they have, we had always insisted from them to give us even 100% pass rate, because these are children from affluent communities whose parents can afford. Quintile 1, 2, 3, these are no fee paying school. These are children protected by the state, free stationery, no fee schools, free textbooks, and are given at least 2 meals during the National School Nutrition Program. And I think they deserve a round of applause. These are the beautiful ones and our ghetto slickers. This is where we come from, Premier. I'm actually come from Kananelo Senior Secondary School in Kroonstad. Next slide, please. Next slide is our analysis of our distinctions, Premier. I don't want to spend time here. You will see over the period of 5 years, we have had 42,360 distinctions. When we actually isolate 2024, you will see that we've got 20.8% of distinctions of this cohort, which is a large number. And we, based on the new mandate of our department, we call it, we're pushing for excellence. We're going to ensure that this is our line of focus. MEC doesn't accept a level 7. She wants to see a distinction of a distinction and a bachelor of a bachelor. It must speak on its own and be a direct entry into any institution of higher learning. That's where we are. Independent school performance, I'm pleased to announce that you will see that Premier, they have attained 94.3%. They've attained 53.8% bachelors, 30.3% diplomas, and quality passes of 84.1% cumulatively. They've done very well. If I'm to be selective and pick salient features of this performance, I would say Thabo Mofutsanyane did very well. You'll see that they've got 99.1% pass rate of their independent schools. Their bachelors are 77.6. And I think this time, Premier, because I was threatening them on a number of occasions that we are going to withdraw our funding to them if they don't give us our pound of flesh. I think they raised their hands and they deserve to be congratulated. Independent schools. With that said, Premier, I wanted to really appeal to members of the media to help us disseminate this very crucial information. This information is just as crucial as the announcements of the results themselves. For queries and corrections, if you have any queries or corrections regarding our November 2024 written examination results, please submit them by no later than 21 February 2025, not you, those who wrote. Remarking and rechecking, please, the learners, note that the closing date for applications for remarking and rechecking of scripts for the November 2024 examination is 29th January 2025. And also note that the late applications will not be accepted. So exam registration deadlines for June 2025 exams, registration for the NSC candidates repeating subjects with a valid school-based assessment closes on the 7th of February 2025. For November 2025 exams, application forms will be available from 1 March 2025 and the closing date for registration is 15 March 2025. In conclusion, the 95% is a groundbreaking pass percentage that has never been achieved in the country before. We have always been benchmarking ourselves against the ambitious 90-40 target that we have set for ourselves. We have now surpassed it. It must be clearly understood that we are competing against ourselves. We are only as good as our past achievement, not against any other province. We always aim at doing better than our own previous performance. Education in the Free State remains a societal matter. The entire community of the Free State has been mobilized to support the establishment of a culture of learning in our schools, for education is a microcosm of society. This year, we are hashtag simply excellent. As Ms. Ndaba earlier advised yourselves, the Free State Premier, Honorable Makwin Letsoa Matai, and our MEC for Education, Dr. Maboya, will host the annual Well Done Function ceremony for the class of 2022 on the 17th of January 2025. This will be held here at the Boot Trotsky Hall. It will start at 8 o'clock sharp. In education, we respect time. At 8 o'clock sharp, we start. It all seems impossible until it is done. Open quote and close quote. Honorable statement of all time, Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, HOG, for your elaborate presentation. Colleagues, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our acting DDG for curriculum management, Ntate Muntsu. I'll also want to acknowledge Ntate Makwa, who's a district director from Karib, and Me Lidibe from Thabo Mofokeng. We have been joined here by one of the cream de la cream, Ntabiseng Malakwan, is from Rantzane. Thank you. Colleagues, at this juncture, I think if you can avail the mics for the MEC, the MEC will speak from just to give remarks, and then after that we give the premier, honorable premier, and then we will then close. We'll then take the questions and answers. Thank you. MEC.
Thank you, Director. Acknowledge the presence of our premier, led by the words on my Bonjour, Matai, and also the presence of the EXCO members who are here. Dr. Karen. And also appreciate the presence of all the from the department of education, as well as our deputy, the chairperson of the initiative, media officer. It is indeed a great pleasure to stand before you today as we celebrate our achievement. This 580 milestone. Never in the history of our public schools have we ever achieved this at the level of policies. Schools have achieved this, but policies have never achieved this level. We've managed to hit the 12% pass rate as well as the 48% bachelor rates. Then we also hasten to remind you that as early as in 2010, we set ourselves this target of 90-40, 90 being the pass rate and 40 being the bachelor rates. And obviously, we have already surpassed both targets. The 48% that we are talking about, I think we moved from 44%. We increased our bachelor rate by almost 4% to 48%. And our pass rate, we moved from 89% to 91%. We moved, we increased by 2%. And I'm sure you would have noticed on the slide that we are the least improved province. And for obvious reasons. If you know statistics, then you would know that if we are moving from a low base, it's easy for you to increase by 6%, 10%, and so on. But with us, because we are moving from a higher base, then it's not as easy as all that. So as a province, we are really proud of our learners, of our teachers, our wonderful learners who are here, our educators, our SGPs, our parents, our teacher unions. We got support from all of you. And I think it is in this province where we are demonstrating that indeed education is a societal matter. Yesterday when I was interviewed in Johannesburg, someone said to me, your province is amongst the poorest provinces. And I said, perhaps that is the reason why we are investing in our people through education. That is the best thing that we can do for our people, because we happen to be one of those poor provinces. So having said that, I think we have seen that we have really done well this year. We have hit the 91% pass rate, as we said, but we have also increased in terms of the bachelor passes. Now, the question of quality, I think, is something that we still have to look into, because I think quality is also relative in one way or the other. Because if, as a country, we are talking about, the whole program of a skills revolution, then we would appreciate even those learners who have attained diplomas as quality, because those are learners who will be going into your skills programs, which is what this country needs. So at some point, I think we need to redefine what we mean by quality. What used to be quality in the past, when we thought we could channel everyone into your academic stream, we as the department, we have introduced what we call the 3-stream model. And in the 3-stream model, we do have the academic stream, we have the vocational stream, and the occupational stream, meaning that we are moving in the right path to ensure that we revolutionize the country in terms of skills, which is what we want. So I'm saying that this thing of quality and excluding the diplomas, we need to relook into it. I know that you are going to ask me about that one, and this is exactly what I'm saying. We need to relook into it, because those kids with diplomas are the ones who are going to be admitted at your University of Technology. Again, those are the kids who are going to be admitted there. So that's why I'm saying that the issue of quality is neither here nor there. And you have also realized that in terms of inclusivity, because we have done quite well. That slide showed you that we are the biggest contributors or the biggest contributor in terms of the number of learners who applied for concessions and accommodations. We've got a lot of such learners in our education system, by the way, who do have barriers to learning. And if those learners are not supported by making sure that we provide them with the necessary assistance for them to be able to perform as they should, to their potential, to their full potential, then we are not doing justice to them. So the issue of inclusivity, I think, is also featuring in our results. And yeah, that's the one. But also, what is so also impressive about our results is the fact that we have increased the number of schools that performed at 100%, and not only the 100%, but also 90% upwards. I think we have done very well in terms of that. There are far more than 60%, I think, schools that have performed above 90%. 67% of our schools have performed above 90%, which is quite good. And when you look at where these schools are located, most of them are your schools in those poverty-stricken areas. These are your quintile 1, your quintile 2, and your quintile 3 schools. And that in itself shows that our pro-poor policies are really helping a lot. So I think in a nutshell, program director, this is what I wanted to say about these results. A lot will be said, I think, when we get to the well done function. And we have also seen that most of our learners who have done well in your maths and science, which are our gateway subjects, come from the most rural area, which is Thabo Mofusanyana. So that in itself shows that we are getting somewhere as a province. Because now, if you begin to do these good things for those people who are the poorest of the poor, who live in your rural areas, it means we are beginning now to turn the corner by investing in education or investing in those learners who are in those areas. Having said that, let me also congratulate my district directors. The district directors, you have done quite well. Tate Malakwane, all of them, they have improved. All of them have improved in terms of the pass rate and in terms of the bachelor rate. And I know that I always say to them, they must not compete amongst themselves. They must just complement each other. This is the message that I always send out to them. And to our beautiful learners, our stars, we are proud of you. I know that we are still going to meet with you on Friday, and we will also be acknowledging you in the presence of so many people. I think we have invited how many people? More than 1,000 people will be there. So you are going to be acknowledged properly. So we really want to thank you for the hard work, for the dedication, and for really putting the Free State on the map. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Let me see. And we wish you a speedy recovery. Premier. Okay.
You wanted to leave, but please stay. We are executive, all of us. Mercy Fuba. Because there will be those learners who like to engage Luenantete. Saki, we need engineers, we need technicians. So, Ms. Fuba, thank you very much for making time, acting DG. The team of basic education and office of the premier. But my lovely people, the district people, I once worked in this department at national level with Dr. Maboya once more. She was taken from the province and she became a DTG at National Department of Basic Education. So the team here in MedCity, don't be surprised. I know them by name, district. I used to visit all these districts during COVID, and they're still here. Mezonke, just that there's a challenge from Thabo Mofusanyana, Bogoto, Pete, Kamon, and thanks very much for your performance. But HOD, there's one issue that I wanted to raise as you're speaking here, that we really need to have either we have roadshows or we market this program of finishing schools. I was sharing this with on our MEC Psyche. Most of the people don't know about this finishing school, and they're playing a major role. They don't know. At the level of national, they call it as a second chance matric. But here it's a school, full-fledged school, where people are even wearing uniform. It's in Zastron, it's in Kwakwa, it's in Botshabelo. But what is disappointing is that the majority of learners in your district, Mama, when I visited your school, were from other provinces, your KZN. Because this is the only province. This is the only province that has this finishing school. So other provinces are flocking here. But we don't have our learners from Free State. And I hope as we make our speeches on Friday, Mema Miki, we really need to emphasize this. Invite councillors, market these schools within the Free State and give Free Staters a priority. Because most of the schools, honestly, are dominated. You go to Zastron. Zastron is dominated by Eastern Cape. And they don't know. When we engage with some of the people, I'm a deployee there in Karib, they say, I run a they don't even know. Or a school will say, okay, when you look at that school, it's actually our grade. Bana ba re ke grade 13 ya o le strong, but ke repeat of grade 12. But Rebele Smart, it's a finishing school, meaning how's a performer hunter the level of matric, you still have the second chance to go and register at the school. And the same government is still taking care of you. And they budget for you, you qualify like any other learner in that school. So the challenge this year, Yarona, Dr. Maboya, is to really market our finishing schools in making sure that our Free Staters benefit from those schools. Free State performance history can be traced as far as 2011, Dr. Maboya. As you all know, when we're at about 75%. Since then, our performance has been gradually improving, and we have held on to position 1 for 8 years. There was a break in between, but I think it's 6 consecutive. Is it 6 or 6 consecutive? There was a break. I think it was around 2018. Yes, it was 20. That is like your and info. And really, HOD and the MEC, we are delighted that there's a huge pass rate improvement of no fee school fees, especially around issue quintal 1 to quintal 3. And honestly, Dr. Maboya, we have performed well. If you can just quote quintal 1 to 3, we know challenges that are there. I'm happy that we got one from Ntemu saying it's one of the schools that I adopted, that I made sure that this year, give me just 87. They said 87, Tatemolo, when I was with you there. They promised 87. I said, okay, if you promise me 87, I'm going to make sure that you have food for the entire camp. And that's what we did. We delivered. I went to Ridersburg. The teacher there, district director, promised me 89, 87. He was at 70, 76 last year. How much did he achieve this year? 89. I went to that school personally. We delivered food because they were saying to me, these learners, the background of the family sometimes really contributes to the learning, teaching and learning of these learners. So we supported that school during this term as well, during exams. We also supported Motel. We went to Grassland. They promised me 89, 87. I don't know how much did they achieve now. And it's one of those schools that is really within the communities that are disadvantaged, Dr. Maboya. I think I visited the school twice in making sure. And for the first time, they said to me, "Re qala ho ja nama ya kgomo in camp, re qala ho ja nama e red in camps." And that's what we did for these learners. And they promised me, actually now, it's 87, it's even above what they promised me. And thanks very much, and Tatemoloi. And Mema Miki, as we visited these schools, there were challenges. Not that everything was smooth. There were challenges. There were those learners who were able to share with us and say, from the background, I'm here, Premier, but I don't know what's happening at home. I don't know what they're going to eat. And my mom could not even pay for the camp. And so that's why we had to come in as provincial government and say, how do we assist these parents who cannot afford to assist their learners? So thanks very much that they did not disappoint as well. So meaning if we can continue with the same kind of assistance, we'll get better results every year. For several years, our district have been part of top performing district. And I'm happy that today, Dr. Maboya, were able to say within the top 10, we got 4 districts because it was not mentioned yesterday. And we were so concerned, but why is it not mentioned that Free State top 10 and then Free State has got 4 districts within that top 10. So I'm happy that, and we need to emphasize until Friday. We got 5 districts, 4 it's in top 10. So Leona we really dedicate this good performance to you educators, the district directors, the learners, the parents, and holo teachers and the district directors. I think that's where our work, our challenges are. And some of these teachers have compromised, have sacrificed their families to really be with these learners at the camps and so on. Leaving your family, don't even know how your own child is doing, but going to take care of someone's child. Ke kopa re ba shapele matsoho those teachers, because I don't think it's one of the easiest jobs that we did. And thanks, Dr. Maboya, for the road shows. I know, no sa tshwarege mme, ko batla busy, you were busy, you busy. Because sometimes it's very important to visit the schools and understand the situation. Even these teachers or barutela maemong a jwang is very, very important, because we got schools say long wabona mona, it's about the passion and nothing else from the teachers. So thank you very much, Maboya. And we also want to thank those parents, the QLTCs. I think they're also playing a major role in making sure that we achieve what we have just achieved now as a province. Lastly, I just want to dedicate this result to one of our own, Mr. Tate Mahwe, the MEC for our, who was an MEC for education. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And he's really rejoicing that ha drop the ball. Ebile re isitse higher and higher. And ke a ipotsa ka ba le jwang today if he was still alive. But we are here, Comrade Tate, Mosito o tswela pele. And I also once more want to congratulate once more Dr. Maboya for steering the ship so well. I'm confident that your leadership is going to take us to higher strides, Mama. Rotshepile Mbokoto. Last year we have adopted the motto that's a simply excellent. And through this motto, re tla ba phetha, re ba phethe ho fihlela ba tlwaela, mara ba tlwaetse no. So as we are announcing this result in our province, the performance of all the districts, I would like to conclude by quoting Emile Zoll when he said, "We are like books. Most people only see our cover. The minority read only the introduction. Many people believe in critics. Few will know our content." Close quote. And I thank you.
Many thanks, Premier. We have heard your injunction, and I hope the leadership of the department is here. Most of those injunctions will be duly implemented. Colleagues, we have reached this, what I will call the gist of this meeting, where we will then engage with the leadership based on what the HOD Advocate Malakwan has presented. As I indicated earlier, we will have only 2 sets or 2 sessions, 5, and then 5 first will allow the leadership to respond, and then after that we'll have another 5, and then we'll close this press briefing. Can you kindly please, as you raise your questions, you identify yourself, the name, and the name of the media house we are coming from. And let's stick to the business of the day. Let's not repeat questions that have been answered, that's been asked, and let's make sure that we remain seated until the end of the. I will then expect colleagues to raise their hand, identify themselves, raise their hand. I'll take 5 and then 5. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Lele, it's one Lele, and then let's have another one. Can I identify? Tebza, can I in that order? Any question? Okay. Can you have Lele? Can you stand up and then tell them?
Afternoon, it's Aphumelele Mdlalane from SABC News. There's been, of course, a national debate about the issue of quality versus quantity, and I see with the breakdown by the HOD here has tried to clarify some of the issues. But now the question is, we see that it's about 37,000 or 36,000 that's set for exams, and in 2024, 8,000 distinctions. There is still that question. There are those that have passed with bachelor pass, others are admitted with diploma, but also those ones that have passed with bachelor pass are not admitted at the university level. They are only admitted at your central universities of technologies. We just want to know now the distinction thereof, because there's that challenge whereby one learner would pass with maybe one distinction, but is unable to meet the requirements to be at University of the Free State or University of Cape Town. And with the issue, the province have managed from 2010 to reach the 90-40 and also surpassed the target that you've set for yourself. This simply means that there's still pressure that the province, of course, has attained this position for more than 6 times, but there's still pressure to you have set the bar. And what is it that you will make sure that you do to sustain the education system? And one was even saying that the province has advantage that it's led by someone who's senior, who has been in the Department of Education. But to sustain this, what is the plan that the Department of Education is having to make sure that no any other province takes position 1? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Debza?
Thank you. My name is Tewastina from Express Newspaper. My question is relating to STEM subject. In 2023, it was set about 80.17 student or learners pass, and then the previous year it was 80.56. I just want to know, in terms of the current year, the past year, how is the stats, and what was the total number of student that or learners that wrote exam and passed?
Thank you very much. I think there were two questions in this set. Before I allow the leadership to respond, may I take this opportunity to acknowledge Fezile Dabi. This is Director Dr. Chuta, and we will have seen in our presentation that Fezile Dabi is number 1 with more than 9 in the province with more than 93% pass rate. You are welcome, Doc. Maybe can we then, because there were 2 questions in this round, can we? Do you want to make a follow-up? No, I'll ask in the second round. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I should then allow, with your guidance, HOD, who the MEC can respond or okay.
I will allow Mr. Bajan to deal with the issue on stats on STEM subjects. He's actually the head of examinations. He would know the figures. The first question is about quality. MEC has said, firstly, quality is relative. But let us say there is a rebuttable presumption that when you get a bachelor pass, you will actually go to university. That is the rebuttable presumption. Because we are saying MEC is clear when we talk with this transition to excellence. We are now working on getting bachelors, quality in bachelors themselves. But bachelors are actually released the same way. And I must say that the Free State is above the national average of bachelors. The only unfortunate situation that happened, I think the Premier covered that in relation to the pecking order of districts. Instead of actually getting bachelors announced in percentage, because they were announced in numbers, but numbers are relative or they are commensurate with the size of provinces. And they are not telling you that if they say this province gave us 94,000 or 40,000 bachelors, is 40,000 of what? So this argument, and I'm not saying this is what you are doing, you look like an honorable lady. Premier, we have seen, new narratives being brought to further, interrogate our achievements. And I understand why. When you are leading people year in and year out, they will find a way of trying to actually dilute the impact of what we are bringing to the table. We've seen that, and I'm not reading much in what I've seen, because we are not here for adulation. We're here to actually validate the talents of our children and ensure that we actually protect them. So quality of this province is 48.2% passes. When you get level 7 and you want to equate into a bachelor's with distinctions, a learner, an honorable, a normal learner can have no distinction, but have quality passes that allow the learner to get into any institutions of learning. So they are not necessarily an indicator to bachelors, not necessarily. Though it is ideal to have more distinctions, which is what we are pushing. And you asked another question of what we are going to do to remain at the top of the food chain. I said the nation places too high a premium on who's number one. The more I tell who you regard as my enemies or my competitors, the more I sharpen their axe and they use my strategies to fight me. I can tell you that we are committed to the cause. I can tell you that we've got soldiers who have earned their stripes. We understand the culture of performance. We hold each other to account. And that's all I can say. Sounds like serious God speak or English, but it is what it is. But we are here to stay chasing our own targets. I think we have made 90% a sick joke. We will go premier down to the trenches, go recommit ourselves to something higher. It reminds me of a wise man who says, you never reach your goal. When you think you have arrived at your goal, new challenges crop up and you shift the barriers. We are prepared to bend the midnight oil and propel ourselves beyond the limits of our endurance. That's all I can say. Mr. Basjan, you can help us on the STEM subject.
HOD, I think I'm informed by both the DDG and Mr. Bashan that we currently don't have the stats on STEM subjects. We will respond on that question on Friday, and also we can liaise with the journalists that have asked that question. Colleagues, I want us to go to the second round, which is the last round. of questions. Is there any question? One. Okay, Debza.
Okay, my next question is directed to the Premier. Premier made mention of the number of schools that she adopted, and then I went to one which is Grassland. According to the school, they achieved 97.6%, and then yet a different view about that. When were you last at the school?
Well, I can answer that.
No, that one is. I went there on the first day of the exams. SABC was also there. Aphumelele was there. And then I went there when they were already camping at the school, where I brought toiletries, stuff. And so I actually went there thrice, if you want to know.
Yes, my question is also about
No, it was their target. Yes, it was their target. But I think you've been given by the district director the percentage that they actually achieved. Is it 97 that Yeah.
But I indicated that they were at 82%.
Yes.
In 2023, they improved to 94%. But I'm told right now that it is even higher than that. By what you are saying, 97%. Yes, we can verify.
Which is
Yes.
good
Yes.
because where the school is situated, we all know that it's one of those schools that accommodates learners from disadvantaged communities. And if you recall, when we were there were also those learners that you could tell that this one are having challenges. They know that I had sessions with some of the learners there, and we involved the social workers to say, how best can we also visit the families and just assist in that situation. So I'm happy that they actually set that target, but they surpassed that. So we should be proud of that school HOD, because where it's really, it's even overcrowded. Even the hall could not even accommodate all the matriculants. There was not even enough space in between. Just to indicate that I am familiar with the school. Thank you.
Premier MEC, there's a question on the WhatsApp channel. Okay.
The question is from Duncan Metsimaholo, FM in Sasolburg. It reads as follows. On behalf of Metsimaholo FM, we congratulate the department for the sterling and wonderful job done to make education the pride of Free State and fashionable in the country. Can the department give us an idea on what the leading cause of the notable difference on total entered and total learners who wrote the final exam? A number worth noting does not write their final exam. What is the leading cause of this? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Will the MEC, who's going? TDG? The TDG will take.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Ndaba. Let me leverage on the protocol established by the HOD, creating Premier and the MEC. There are myriads of reasons. Remember, the good story is those learners wrote examinations. That's the entry point. Now, during the writing of examinations, some of them got sick. It's something that you cannot plan for. But the bottom line is, and the Premier was spot on, we have what is called finishing schools for them to have a qualification, the National Senior Certificate qualification, which opens doors for many things, for employment, for higher studies. That's why we want in the province that every learner must achieve the National Senior Certificate as they complete the 13th year of schooling. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I think this brings us to the end of this session. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the department, on behalf of the provincial government under the leadership of the Premier, our sincere gratitude for you for heeding this invitation, and we hope that the information that we have been imparted on you will be transmitted to our stakeholders. We thank you very much. We want to emphasize and invite you to our well done function, which will be held on Friday, where we will be having more of our best of the best learners who are here, and also where we will be celebrating and acknowledging the excellent performance that the province or that this country has ever seen. Thank you very much. The session is adjourned.